Look at your life for a moment. How many dreams have disappeared, not because you were incapable, but because you stopped too early? How many times did you say, "Tomorrow I'll give everything," and tomorrow became another excuse? Understand this. The world does not reward potential. It rewards effort. It rewards consistency. It rewards the person who keeps moving when motivation disappears. If you truly want a different life, then there comes a moment where average effort is no longer enough. You must work harder than ever. Not for applause, not for validation, but because the person you want to become demands it. Most people never fail because they are weak. They fail because they keep negotiating with comfort. Every day, comfort whispers the same message. You've done enough. Start tomorrow. Rest a little longer. Wait until you feel ready. And slowly, without realizing it, days become weeks. Weeks become years. And one day, people wake up, staring at a life they never truly built. Comfort is dangerous because it does not look like destruction. It feels safe. It feels reasonable. It feels harmless. That is why so many dreams disappear quietly. Think about the person who says they want success, but hits the snooze button every morning. Think about the person who talks endlessly about building something meaningful, but never begins because conditions are never perfect. Think about the person who waits to feel motivated before taking action. They are not lacking intelligence. They are trapped in comfort. The truth is simple. Your future will never be created inside the place where everything feels easy. Growth demands friction. Strength demands resistance. Transformation demands sacrifice. Imagine a blacksmith shaping steel. The metal does not become strong while resting untouched. It becomes strong through heat, pressure, and repeated impact. Human character is no different. Every difficult morning, you choose discipline over sleep. You become stronger. Every time you continue working while your mind asks you to quit, you become stronger. Every moment you reject excuses and move anyway, you become stronger. People often look at successful individuals and assume they possess something special. But what if the difference is much simpler? What if they simply stopped negotiating? While others waited, they acted. While others complained, they trained. While others searched for comfort, they accepted discomfort as the price of becoming extraordinary. There is a moment that arrives in every life. A moment when you must decide, will you protect your comfort or build your future? Because you cannot fully keep both. The person you want to become already exists in possibility, but they are waiting on the other side of difficult choices. That version of you wakes up early. That version keeps promises. That version does what needs to be done, whether emotions agree or not. And every excuse you accept delays meeting that person. So the next time your mind says, maybe later, answer immediately. Not later, now. The next time comfort says, take the easy path, remember this. Easy creates regret. Challenge creates growth. Stop negotiating. Stop asking life for permission. Take the step. Do the work. Become the person your goals require. Because the life you dream about is not hiding in comfort. It is waiting where effort begins. Motivation is a beautiful feeling. It arrives like fire. One video inspires you. One speech moves you. One decision makes you feel unstoppable. You write goals. You make promises. You tell yourself, this time I will change. And for a moment, you believe nothing can stop you. But then morning comes. The alarm rings. Your body feels heavy. The excitement disappears. Suddenly the energy is gone. And the goal that felt so important yesterday feels distant today. This is where most people lose. Not because they lack dreams. Not because they lack talent. But because they built their future on emotion instead of discipline. Motivation is powerful, but it is temporary. Discipline is different. Discipline does not ask how you feel. Discipline asks what must be done. Think about the farmer. The farmer cannot wake up and say, I don't feel inspired to plant today. Seasons do not wait for emotions. Think about the athlete. Champions are not created on the days they feel excited. They are created on ordinary mornings. when nobody is watching, when energy is low, when excuses are loud, and they still train. Think about the builder constructing a house. One brick today seems meaningless. One more tomorrow seems invisible. But eventually, brick by brick, a structure appears. Your life works the same way. Small disciplined actions, repeated long enough, become results people call success. The dangerous belief is thinking that you need to feel ready. You do not. You need to move. There will be days when your mind says, skip the work. Do it anyway. Days when progress feels invisible. Continue anyway. Days when doubt becomes louder than belief. Stand up anyway. Because discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect. It is the decision to keep promises to yourself. Every time you act despite resistance, you send yourself a message. I can trust myself. That trust becomes confidence. That confidence becomes identity. And identity changes everything. Soon you are no longer someone trying to become disciplined. You become a disciplined person. Understand this clearly. Nobody can stay motivated every day. Nobody. But people who achieve extraordinary things create systems stronger than emotions. They train themselves to act whether they feel powerful or powerless, because they understand something most people never learn. Your feelings are visitors. Your habits become your life. So stop waiting for the perfect mood. Stop expecting inspiration to save you. Create standards. Create routines. Create non-negotiable actions. Wake up. Show up. Repeat. And one day you will realize something incredible. The life you wanted was never built by moments of motivation. It was built by the quiet days, the difficult days, the ordinary days, the days you showed up when nobody else would. That is discipline. And discipline changes everything. There is a dangerous trap that keeps people average. It sounds reasonable. It sounds balanced. It sounds harmless. The trap is doing only what is expected, meeting the minimum, giving enough effort to feel productive, but never enough to transform. Most people stop at the point where effort becomes uncomfortable. They complete the assignment and close the book. They finish work and stop learning. They exercise until tired and call it enough. Then they wonder why progress feels slow. But look carefully at people who create extraordinary lives. They almost always have one thing in common. They trained themselves to do more than expected. Not because someone demanded it. Not because someone rewarded it. But because they understood something powerful. The extra effort becomes the extra result. Imagine two people standing at the same starting line. Both have talent. Both have opportunity. Both want success. The first person works until the requirement is complete. The second person studies one more hour, practices one more round, reads one more chapter, makes one more attempt. At first, the difference is invisible. Days pass. Weeks pass. Nothing dramatic happens. Then suddenly one person begins pulling ahead. People watching from the outside call it luck, but they never saw the invisible moments. The extra repetition, the extra preparation, the extra discipline. Success rarely explodes overnight. It accumulates quietly. Think about a mountain climber. No single step reaches the summit. One step feels insignificant, but thousands of small steps create impossible outcomes. Your life follows the same rule. Do not underestimate the power of doing a little more. One more call, one more workout, one more hour of focus, one more attempt after failure. This is where identities are built. Because when you repeatedly go beyond what is required, something inside you changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who participates. You become someone who commits. And commitment creates a level of confidence that comfort never can. There will always be voices around you saying, relax. You're doing enough. Don't push so hard. But remember, average effort receives average rewards. If your goals are bigger than average, your standards must become bigger too. That does not mean destroying yourself. It means refusing to stop at convenience. It means asking one powerful question every day. What is one more thing I can do today that my future self will thank me for? Then do it. Because extraordinary people are not necessarily extraordinary in talent. They are extraordinary in consistency. They make one more effort when others stop. They stay 5 more minutes. They learn one more lesson. They refuse to end the day knowing they held something back. And one day, people will look at their results and say, how did they get so far? They got there the same way anyone can. By deciding that expected effort was never enough. And by becoming the person who always gives one more. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid discomfort. They search for easier paths, faster results, less resistance, less pressure. But there is something they do not realize. The discomfort you avoid today often becomes the regret you carry tomorrow. Nothing meaningful is created without struggle. Nothing powerful is built without pressure. And no person becomes strong by living only where life feels easy. The problem is that suffering has developed a bad reputation. People hear the word and immediately think something is wrong. But there are 2 kinds of suffering. One is meaningless suffering, the pain of staying stuck, repeating the same mistakes, watching opportunities disappear. The other is purposeful suffering, the temporary discomfort that builds a stronger life. One destroys, the other transforms. The question is not whether you will suffer. The question is, which suffering will you choose? Think about someone learning to walk. Every fall looks like failure. Every step is unstable. But imagine if they stopped because falling was uncomfortable. They would never walk. Now think about your own life. Every challenge you avoid becomes a wall. Every challenge you face becomes a doorway. Growth has always demanded discomfort. The student who studies while others rest. The entrepreneur who keeps building while results are uncertain. The athlete who trains when muscles ache. They are not enjoying pain. They are understanding its purpose. Because they know something powerful. Temporary struggle creates permanent capability. There is a moment in every difficult journey where your mind begins to negotiate. It says, this is too hard. Maybe I'm not meant for this. Maybe I should stop. But that voice appears not because you are failing. It appears because you are changing. Pressure reveals who you are becoming. Look at a piece of stone before it becomes a sculpture. To the outside world, the hammer looks destructive. But the artist sees something different. Each strike removes what is unnecessary and reveals what was hidden. Life often works the same way. The difficult seasons are shaping you. The failures are teaching you. The setbacks are strengthening parts of you. Success alone never could. Do not run from difficult moments. Stand inside them. Learn inside them. Grow inside them. Because one day you will look back and realize the moments you wanted to escape became the moments that built your character. The long nights, the uncertainty, the sacrifices, the setbacks. They created patience. They created endurance. They created strength. And eventually, they created results. So when the work becomes uncomfortable, when progress feels slow, when your mind wants comfort more than growth, remember this: you are not being punished. You are being prepared. Keep going. Carry the weight. Accept the challenge. Because every difficult day, completed with purpose, is shaping a version of you that weaker days should never create. And one day, the pain that once tested you will become the proof of who you became. One of the greatest battles of modern life is not lack of opportunity, it is distraction. People think they are losing because they do not have enough time, but often they are losing because their attention is divided. Their energy is scattered. Their mind is everywhere. Their goals become background noise. And little by little, they wake up one day wondering where all the time went. Look around. Everything is competing for your attention. Notifications, opinions, entertainment, comparison, noise. The world will always offer something easier than your mission. And if you are not careful, you will spend years being busy without becoming better. Understand this. Focus is not simply concentrating harder. Focus is choosing what deserves your life. Imagine holding a magnifying glass under the sun. When the light spreads everywhere, nothing happens. But when that same light is concentrated into one point, it becomes powerful enough to create fire. Your attention works the same way. Scattered attention creates weak results. Focused attention creates transformation. Think about an archer aiming at a target. The arrow cannot hit everything. It must choose one direction. And once released, there is no hesitation. People who achieve meaningful things learn this lesson early. They become selective. They stop saying yes to everything. They understand that every distraction carries a hidden cost. Every unnecessary hour, every meaningless argument, every habit that steals attention, every moment spent watching others instead of building themselves. The cost is not time. The cost is your potential. There are people right now with enormous dreams and endless ambition. But every day, their energy leaks into things that do not matter. And years later, they wonder why life stayed the same. Because focus is not what you do once. Focus is what you protect every day. There will be moments when people misunderstand your priorities. They will ask why you disappeared, why you became quieter, why you stopped chasing every trend. But understand, you are not becoming distant. You are becoming intentional. There is a season in life where you must become obsessed with your purpose. Not unhealthy, not disconnected, but clear. Clear enough to say, this matters. This does not. This moves me forward. This keeps me stuck. The strongest minds are not the ones doing everything. They are the ones refusing everything that weakens their direction. Protect your mornings. Protect your routines. Protect your thoughts. Protect your standards. Because attention is life. Where your focus goes, your future follows. And one day, people will look at your progress and think it happened quickly. They will not see the hundreds of moments you chose discipline over distraction. The moments you stayed with the work. The moments you ignored the noise. The moments you kept your eyes on the target. Stay focused. Because while others are being entertained, you are becoming who you said you would become. There is one quality that separates people more than talent, more than intelligence, more than opportunity. It is the ability to continue when progress is invisible, to continue when nobody believes, to continue when results arrive slower than expected. Most people do not lose because life defeats them. They lose because they stop. They stop 1 week too early, 1 month too early, one difficult season too early. And the painful part is, they often never realize how close they were. Success rarely announces its arrival. It tests your patience first. It asks uncomfortable questions. Will you continue when nobody notices? Will you continue when excitement disappears? Will you continue when effort feels unrewarded? This is where character is revealed. Imagine water falling onto stone. 1 drop changes nothing. 10 drops change nothing. Thousands of drops seem meaningless. But enough time passes, and stone begins to change. Not because the water is powerful, because it never stopped. Your effort works the same way. Small actions repeated with persistence become forces that reshape your future. But most people expect transformation to feel dramatic. They expect visible proof every day. When they do not see immediate change, they assume nothing is happening. They quit. And quitting has a dangerous effect. It teaches your mind that discomfort means retreat. But every time you continue, something different happens. You build trust. You prove to yourself, I do not stop because it is difficult. That belief becomes identity. Think about the person climbing a mountain. At the bottom, the summit looks impossible. Halfway up, exhaustion appears. The body hurts. The mind questions everything. And there comes a moment where turning back feels easier. But here is the truth nobody talks about. Turning back does not remove the pain. It only removes the possibility. The climb still happened. The effort was still spent. Only now the destination disappears. So keep climbing. Not recklessly, not endlessly, but faithfully. Keep taking the next step. Because the person who keeps moving gains something greater than achievement. They gain resilience. They gain self-respect. They become someone who knows they can endure. And that changes every part of life. There will be days when others move faster. Days when people doubt you. Days when results stay hidden. Do not measure your future by temporary conditions. Measure it by your willingness to continue. Because people who eventually create extraordinary lives are often not the most gifted. They are the ones who stayed with the process, stayed with the practice, stayed with the work long enough for growth to appear. So when the voice in your mind says, maybe this is enough, answer it with action. One more step, one more attempt, one more day. Because your breakthrough may not arrive with noise. It may arrive quietly, on the day you decided not to quit. And when that day comes, you will understand. You never needed perfect conditions. You needed endurance. You needed commitment. You needed the courage to become the person who never stops.